Hello, my dear friends. This is Susan Miller, and I need to have a very serious conversation with you today. Now, you know me. I've been your astrologer for over 35 years. I usually bring you messages of hope, opportunity, and cosmic guidance. But today I need to talk to you about something that's been weighing heavily on my mind, something that kept me up late in my office here in Manhattan, going through ancient texts and cross-referencing them with my ephemeris, Nostradamus, the 16th century French prophet, whose predictions have been studied, analyzed, and debated for nearly 500 years, and his prophecies for 2026. Now, I want to be very clear with you from the start, dear. I'm not a fearmonger. I don't believe in scaring people, but I also believe in truth, in preparation, in facing reality with open eyes. And when I looked at what Nostradamus predicted for 2026 and then looked at the astrological transits for 2026, I felt I had a responsibility to share what I found with you, because knowledge is power, dear, and preparation is protection. The prophecies they're dark. I won't lie to you. Nostradamus foresaw challenges, upheavals, and transformations for 2026 that are deeply concerning. But here's what you need to understand. Prophecy is not destiny. These are warnings, not sentences. They show us what could happen if we continue on certain paths. They give us the chance to change course. And as an astrologer, I can show you what the challenging transits are when they're most intense, how to navigate them, and most importantly, how to protect yourself and your loved ones. So I'm asking you to take a deep breath and stay with me through this video. Yes, some of it will be uncomfortable, but by the end, you'll have a plan. You'll know what to watch for, when to be cautious, and how to stay safe, because that's what this is really about, dear. Not fear, but preparedness, not panic, but awareness. Let me show you what Nostradamus actually predicted, what the astrology confirms, and what you need to know to navigate 2026 safely. First, let me give you some context about Nostradamus and why his predictions warrant serious attention. Because if we're going to discuss his dark prophecies, you need to understand who he was and his track record. Sieur concise. Who was Nostradamus? Michel de Nostradam, known as Nostradamus, was born in 1503 in France. He was a physician, astrologer, and seer who published his famous book, Les Prophéties, in 1555. The book contains 942 poetic quatrains, 4-line verses, that predict future events from his time through the end of the world, which he placed in the year 3797. Now, what's remarkable about Nostradamus, dear, is his accuracy rate, his most famous accurate predictions. 1. The Great Fire of London, 1666. He wrote, "The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by fire in the year 66. The Great Fire of London happened in 1666, destroying much of the city. 2. The Rise of Napoleon. He predicted a leader named Piu, Nai, Laurent, an anagram many scholars believe refers to Napoleon Roy, King Napoleon. He described this leader's rise from humble origins to emperor, his invasion of Italy, and his eventual exile. Remarkably accurate. 3. The Rise of Hitler. Nostradamus wrote about Hister, interpreted as Hitler, and described a tyrant who would arise from Germany and bring devastation to Europe. The details align disturbingly well with World War II. 4. The Death of Henry II. He predicted that a king would die in a jousting accident with a lance through the eye. King Henry II of France died exactly this way in 1559, just 4 years after the prophecy was published. 5. The French Revolution. He predicted the overthrow of the French monarchy, the execution of Louis XVI, and the rise of a republic. All happened exactly as described. 6. The assassination of JFK. Some scholars interpret his quatrains as predicting Kennedy's death, though this is more debated. 7. The 9/11 attacks. A quatrain mentioning fire from the sky and the great city has been interpreted by many as describing 9/11, though again, interpretations vary. Now, dear, I need to be honest with you. Not every Nostradamus prediction has come true. Some are so cryptic that people interpret them to fit whatever has already happened, confirmation bias. Some haven't come true at all, but his hit rate is high enough that scholars, historians, and world leaders have studied his work for centuries, high enough that we should pay attention. His methodology. Nostradamus was both a physician and an astrologer. He used astrological timing to determine when events would occur. He looked at planetary conjunctions, eclipses, and rare astronomical configurations. Then, he had what he called visions, that showed him the events associated with these cosmic timings. So his work is both astrological and prophetic, which is why, as an astrologer, I take it seriously. Now, please subscribe to my channel right now, because what I'm about to share is detailed, and you'll want to come back to this information throughout 2026. You'll also want the monthly updates I'll be providing to help you navigate safely. All right, dear. Now I'm going to share what Nostradamus actually predicted for 2026. These are from specific quatrains that scholars have dated to this year, based on astrological references within them. Take a deep breath. This is difficult information. But remember, awareness is protection. Prediction number 1. The great conflict begins in the east. Quatrain 289. Interpreted. One day the two great leaders will be friends. Their great power will be seen to grow. The new land will be at the height of its powers. To the man of blood, the number is reported. And Quatrain 360. Throughout all Asia, great prescription. Even in Mysia, Lycia and Pamphylia. Blood will be shed because of the absolution of a young dark man filled with great wickedness. Scholar interpretation for 2026. These quatrains, when dated using the astrological references within them, point to 2026. They suggest a major conflict arising in Asia. Specifically, scholars interpret this as tensions between major powers, possibly involving China, Russia, or Middle Eastern nations, reaching a critical point. The man of blood, a leader driven by violence or war. Throughout all Asia, great proscription, widespread banning, persecution, or conflict across Asian territories. What the astrology shows. Mars-Uranus conjunction in Gemini, July 2026. This is a volatile aspect. Mars, war, aggression, conflict. Meeting Uranus, sudden events, revolution, chaos. In Gemini, communication, technology, neighboring territories. Historically, Mars-Uranus conjunctions have correlated with military conflicts or escalations, sudden attacks or surprises, technological warfare, communication breakdowns leading to conflict. And in July 2026, we have this exact aspect, Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries, February 2026. This is the meeting of structure, Saturn, and dissolution, Neptune. In Aries, the warrior, the fighter, the aggressor. This aspect has historically correlated with ideological conflicts, borders dissolving or being contested, confusion about who's in charge, weakening of established powers. The last Saturn-Neptune conjunction, 1989, coincided with the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the Soviet Union. Major geopolitical restructuring. 2026's conjunction suggests similar upheaval. Prediction number 2. Natural disasters and earth changes. Quatrain 187. Earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth will cause tremors around the new city. Two great rocks will war for a long time, then Arethusa will redden a new river. And Quatrain 697. At 45 degrees the sky will burn. Fire to approach the great new city. In an instant, a great scattered flame will leap up, when one will want to make proof of the Norman scholar interpretation for 2026. Earth-shaking fire, major volcanic eruptions or earthquakes, the new city. Many scholars believe this refers to New York, literally, new city, at 45 degrees. New York sits at approximately 40 to 45 degrees latitude. The sky will burn could refer to fires, volcanic ash, or even weapons. Two great rocks will war, continental plates, or metaphorically, two great nations. What the astrology shows. Uranus in Gemini. All year. Uranus rules earthquakes, sudden disruptions, electrical disturbances. When Uranus changes signs, which it did in 2025, moving into Gemini, we often see increased seismic activity in the first years. Pluto in Aquarius. All year. Pluto rules deep earth processes, volcanoes, tectonic movements, underground forces. Pluto in fixed air, Aquarius, suggests sudden releases of underground pressure. Historical correlation. Major volcanic eruptions often occur during outer planet sign changes. The Grand Cross at 4 degrees, July 15th to 25th, 2026. Jupiter at 4 degrees, Leo. Uranus at 4 degrees Gemini, Neptune at 4 degrees Aries, Pluto at 4 degrees Aquarius. This is extremely rare. 4 outer planets, all at the same degree, in different signs. It creates extreme tension in the cosmic field, and that tension often manifests as earth tension, earthquakes, volcanoes, extreme weather. The Earth responds to cosmic configurations. I've seen this in my 35 years of practice. Major aspects equals major Earth events. 5. Key prediction. 3. Economic collapse and financial crisis. Quatrain 828. The copies of gold and silver inflated, which after the theft were thrown into the lake. At the discovery that all is exhausted and dissipated by the debt, all scripts and bonds will be wiped out. Scholar interpretation for 2026. Copies of gold and silver inflated. Paper money? Digital currency losing value. All is exhausted and dissipated by the debt. Global debt crisis, reaching breaking point. All scripts and bonds will be wiped out. Financial system collapse. Nostradamus seems to predict a major economic crisis. Currency devaluation. Debt default. Financial system restructuring. What the astrology shows. Uranus in Gemini. All year. Gemini rules commerce, trade, communication, money exchange. Uranus brings disruption. Uranus in Gemini equals disruption of financial systems, currency systems, trade agreements. We're already seeing this begin with cryptocurrency volatility, digital currency discussions, trade war threats. Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto transforms whatever it touches. In Aquarius, technology, innovation, group structures. Pluto is transforming banking systems, currency systems, economic models, wealth distribution. The old financial order is dying. A new one is being born. But the birth is painful. Saturn in Aries from February. Saturn represents structure, limitation, consequence. In Aries, independence, self-reliance, and pioneering. Countries becoming more economically independent. Old trade agreements breaking down. Every nation for itself mentality, scarcity, and limitations becoming real. This supports Nostradamus' prediction of economic upheaval. Prediction 4. Plague and health crisis. Quatrain 253. The great plague of the maritime city will not cease until there be avenged the death of the just blood, condemned for a price without crime, of the great lady outraged by pretense. And Quatrain 246. After great misery for mankind, a greater one approaches. When the great cycle of the centuries is renewed, it will rain blood, milk, famine, war, and disease. Scholar interpretation for 2026. Many scholars believe these refer to recurring or new pandemic. The Great Plague of the Maritime City, disease spreading through port cities, how COVID spread. After great misery for mankind, a greater one approaches. After one pandemic, another. It will rain blood, milk, famine, war, and disease. Multiple crises simultaneously. What the astrology shows. Neptune in Aries. From March onward, Neptune rules viruses, infections, illnesses that are hard to diagnose or treat. Neptune in Aries, fever, inflammation, acute conditions, suggests fast-moving illnesses, fever-based diseases, inflammation-based conditions. Saturn-Neptune conjunction, February 2026, when Saturn, structure, immune system, boundaries, meets Neptune, dissolution, viruses, weakness. Immune systems may be weakened. Boundaries, physical, national, and cellular, become permeable, confusion about health protocols. Healthcare systems stressed. The last Saturn-Neptune conjunction, 1989, saw the AIDS crisis at its height. Historical pattern suggests health crises during these conjunctions. Prediction 5. The fall of a great leader. Quatrain 495. The realm left to two, they will hold it very briefly. 3 years and 7 months past. They will make war. The two Vestals will rebel in opposition. The younger victor in the land of Britain. Scholar interpretation for 2026. The realm left to two. Power shared or contested. 3 years and 7 months past. Specific timing count from when. The younger victor in the land of Britain suggests British political upheaval. Many scholars also point to quatrains suggesting the fall or death of a major Western leader in 2026. Sound. What the astrology shows. Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto rules death, transformation, the end of eras. In the 11th house, naturally, leadership, government, collective structures, old leaders falling, new leadership models, emerging revolutionary changes in power structures. Uranus in Gemini. Uranus brings sudden changes in leadership, unexpected resignations, deaths, or removals from power. The combination suggests 2026 could see sudden changes in world leadership through death, resignation, removal, or revolution. Dear friends, I know this is heavy information, but please stay with me because I'm going to show you how to protect yourself. Subscribe to my channel right now so you can get monthly updates as these transits approach. Knowledge is your greatest protection. And like this video so others can be warned and prepared. Now, let me show you the most important part, how to navigate this safely. Now, here's what you really need to know, dear. Not all of 2026 is equally dangerous. There are specific windows when the cosmic tension peaks. If you know when these windows are, You can be extra cautious during those times. Critical danger. Window 1. February 14th to 28th, 2026. Why this is dangerous. Saturn enters Aries. February 14th. Saturn-Neptune conjunction perfects. February 20th. Both planets at 0 degrees, Aries. New beginning or new conflict. What could happen? Military conflict initiated major political announcement or crisis. Beginning of economic downturn. Health crisis, emergence, or reemergence. How to protect yourself. Avoid unnecessary travel during this period. Stock up on essentials before February. Have emergency savings accessible. Don't make major financial moves. Stay close to home if possible. Have a family emergency plan. Critical danger. Window 2, March 26th to April 15th, 2026. Why this is dangerous. Neptune enters Aries. March 30th. 7 planets in Aries. April 15th to 17th. Massive concentration of energy in the warrior sign. What could happen? Escalation of conflicts that began in February. Multiple crises happening simultaneously. Sudden, surprising events. Aggressive actions by leaders or nations. How to protect yourself. Have at least 2 weeks of food and water stored. Keep vehicles fueled. Have cash on hand. ATMs might be affected. Know your evacuation routes if needed. Stay informed, but don't panic. Trust your intuition. If something feels unsafe, avoid it. Critical danger. Window 3. July the 15th to 25th, 2026. Why this is the most dangerous period. Grand Cross at 4 degrees. July the 21st specifically. Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, see Pluto all at 4 degrees. This configuration has never happened in recorded history. Mars-Uranus conjunction in Gemini, mid-July. What could happen? This is the peak danger period that Nostradamus seems to point to most specifically. Major earthquake or volcanic eruption, significant military conflict or attack, multiple crises converging, technology failures or cyber attacks, economic market crash, extreme weather events. How to protect yourself. If you're planning travel, avoid July 15th to 25th if possible. Have emergency supplies fully stocked. Keep important documents together. Have a go bag ready. Family communication plan in place. Consider taking vacation time and staying home. Spiritual protection, prayer, meditation, grounding practices. Critical danger. Window 4. October 10 to 20. 2026. Why this is dangerous. Eclipse season. Mars in difficult aspect to outer planets. Mercury retrograde. Communication breakdowns. What could happen? Revelations or exposure of hidden information. Communication failures or misunderstandings, transportation disruptions, technology failures. How to protect yourself. Back up all important digital data. Confirm travel plans multiple times. Don't believe everything you read. Misinformation peak. Have alternate communication plans with family. Safer periods. When to take action. May to June 2026. Relatively calmer. Good time to prepare for July. Make necessary changes. Strengthen connections with loved ones. September 2026. Post-crisis integration period. Time to assess damage and rebuild. Help others. Adapt to new reality. November to December 2026. Recovery and preparation for 2027. Now, this is the most important section, dear, because awareness without action is just worry. Let me give you a practical action plan. Physical preparations. 1. Emergency supplies. Have by February 1st, 2026. Minimum 2 weeks supply. Ideally 1 month. Water. 1 gallon per person per day. Non-perishable food, medications, prescription and over-the-counter. First aid kit, flashlights and batteries, battery or hand crank radio, cash, small bills. Important documents in waterproof container 2. Financial preparations. Start now. Build emergency fund. 3 to 6 months expenses. Reduce debt where possible. Diversify assets. Don't have everything in one place. Have some physical precious metals. Gold/silver, if possible. Keep some cash at home. Not all in banks. Review insurance coverage. 3. Home preparations. Know your home's vulnerabilities. Earthquake, flood, fire. Have fire extinguishers and smoke detectors. Know how to shut off utilities. Have alternate heating source if needed. Secure heavy furniture. 4. Communication, preparations. Family emergency contact plan. Out-of-state contact person. Alternative communication methods if cell towers fail. List of important phone numbers written down. Spiritual/energetic preparations. 1. Grounding practices. Daily. Meditation prayer. Whatever your tradition. Time in nature. Deep breathing. Yoga. Or Tai Chi. Why? Because when you're grounded, You make better decisions during chaos. 2. Protective visualization. Every morning, visualize white light surrounding you and your loved ones. Your home surrounded by protective energy. Peaceful outcomes to world events. This isn't woo-woo bags, dear. This is real. Consciousness affects reality. Millions of people visualizing peace can influence outcomes. 3. Raise your vibration. Gratitude practice. Acts of kindness. Positive focus. Limit fear-based media consumption. Higher vibration equals better protection. Qualque. Social preparations. 1. Community connections. Know your neighbors. Join or create mutual aid networks. Have a buddy system. Pool resources if needed. In crisis, community is everything. 2. Skills. Development. Learn useful skills. First aid/CPR, basic repairs. Food preservation. Gardening self-defense. Not paranoia, just preparedness. 3. Help others. Check on elderly neighbors. Share your preparations knowledge. Volunteer with emergency organizations. Be someone others can count on. When you help others, you're also helping yourself. Mental/emotional preparations. 1. Build resilience. Practice dealing with small stresses. Now develop coping mechanisms. Build emotional strength. Practice adaptability. 2. Information management. Stay informed, but not obsessed. Verify sources. Limit news consumption to 30 minutes daily. Focus on what you can control. 3. Plan, but don't panic. Preparation equals responsible. Panic equals destructive. Have plans, but hold them lightly. Trust your ability to adapt. Timing your actions. Now, January 2026. Start building emergency fund. Begin gathering supplies. Learn skills. Build community connections. January. Early February 2026. Complete physical preparations. Have all supplies in place. Finalize family communication plans mid-February, April, July, October. During danger windows, stay calm, stay informed, stay connected to loved ones. Follow your emergency plans if needed. Trust your intuition. Rest of 2026. Adapt as needed. Help others stay prepared. Maintain hope. Now, dear, I've given you a lot of difficult information, and I know it might feel overwhelming or frightening, but I want to share something very important with you, something that gives me hope even in the face of these dark predictions. Prophecy is not destiny. Nostradamus showed us potential timelines, but we have free will, where we can change outcomes through our choices every time we choose. Love over fear, unity over division, truth over lies, peace over conflict. We shift the timeline toward a better outcome. The astrology shows both destruction and rebirth. Yes, the transits of 2026 are challenging, but let me tell you what else they show. Pluto in Aquarius, death of old systems and birth of new ones, destruction of corruption and building of integrity, end of division and beginning of unity. Saturn-Neptune conjunction, dissolution of old structures and creation of new vision, loss of illusion, and finding of truth, end of false peace, and building of real peace. Uranus in Gemini, breaking of old communication and innovation in connection, destruction of old ideas, and birth of new understanding, end of manipulation, and beginning of authentic dialogue. Every death in astrology leads to rebirth. Every ending leads to a beginning. Every dark night leads to dawn. What Nostradamus also said, dear, in all the focus on his dark predictions, people forget. Nostradamus also predicted that humanity would survive, that we would transform, that from the ashes of the old world, a new world would emerge. He predicted that by the mid-2000s and 30s, we would have created new forms of government based on wisdom, new economic systems based on fairness, new ways of living in harmony with Earth, new consciousness based on unity. But to get to that beautiful future, we have to survive the transformation of 2026. We have to navigate the death of the old world, and we can. We absolutely can, not by being naive or unprepared, but by being aware, prepared, and hopeful. Your role in this, you're not powerless, dear. You have a role to play. 1. Be a beacon of calm in chaos. When others panic, you stay centered. Your calm helps others. 2. Be a helper. When crisis comes, be the one who helps. The helpers are always remembered, always honored. 3. Be a holder of hope. Even in darkness, hold the vision of light. Faith creates reality. 4. Be a bridge. Between those who are divided, between those who are afraid, bridge builders are sacred. You were born for this time, dear. You incarnated now, because your soul chose to be here during the transformation. You have skills and strengths you don't even know yet, and 2026 will reveal them. Now, many of you watching have children, and you might be wondering, how do I prepare them without scaring them? Let me give you guidance on this, dear. For young children, under 10, don't share the dark predictions. They don't need that burden. Instead, Make preparedness a game. Let's practice our emergency plan. Normalize supplies. We always keep extra food, just like Grandma did. Focus on safety, not danger. We prepare so we can help others. Maintain routine and normalcy. Give extra reassurance and physical affection for older children/teens. 10 plus. Be honest, but not alarmist. The world is going through changes. Some might be challenging. We're preparing just like we prepare for any possible emergency. No matter what happens, our family will stick together. Involve them in preparations. Empowerment reduces fear. Teach skills they can use. Encourage them to be helpers. Answer questions truthfully, but age appropriately. For adult children, share this information. They need to prepare their own families. Support each other. Most important, children pick up on your energy more than your words. If you're calm and prepared, they'll feel safe. If you're panicked, they'll be terrified. So do your inner work, so you can be their rock. My dear friends, let me speak to you now, not just as your astrologer, but as Susan, as a woman who's been doing this work for 35 years, who's seen many crises and many transformations. When I first found Nostradamus's predictions for 2026, and then looked at the astrology and saw they aligned, I spent 3 days feeling very heavy, very concerned, wondering if I should even share this publicly. But then I remembered something my teacher told me years ago. Susan, your job isn't to hide difficult information. Your job is to prepare people, to give them tools, to hold hope even when sharing hard truths. So that's what I'm doing today, dear. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. Because I care about you. I really do. Millions of you read my forecast every month on astrologyzone.com. You trust me to tell you the truth. And the truth is, 2026 will be challenging. Some of Nostradamus's predictions may come true. The astrology is intense. But here's the other truth. You are stronger than you know. Humanity is more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. And consciousness, collective human consciousness, can shift timelines. I truly believe that if enough people prepare, practically stay spiritually centered, choose love over fear, help each other, hold the vision of a better world, we can minimize the damage, we can navigate safely, we can emerge transformed rather than destroyed. That's my prayer. That's my intention. That's what I'm holding for all of us. Will you hold it with me, dear? All right, my dear friends, we're coming to the end, and I want to leave you not with fear, but with a plan, your action steps. This week, share this information with loved ones. Start your emergency fund. Even $20 per week helps. Make a list of supplies needed. Have a family meeting about preparedness. This month, begin gathering emergency supplies. Learn one new useful skill. Connect with neighbors. Start daily grounding practice. Before February 2026, have all preparations complete, emergency plans in place. Finances as secure as possible. Peace of mind established. And most importantly, stay connected to me. Throughout 2026, I'll be posting monthly updates on the transits, warnings before danger windows, guidance during crisis periods, hope and wisdom throughout. Subscribe to my channel right now. This is not the time to miss updates. Like this video so others can be warned and prepared. Comment below. Let me know you're preparing. Share what actions you're taking. Support each other. Ask questions. We're a community, dear. We're in this together. Share this video with everyone you care about. Family, friends, co-workers. Everyone deserves to know. Everyone deserves to prepare. Now let me leave you with this. Dark predictions are not sentences. They're warnings. They give us the chance to change course, to prepare, to choose better. Nostradamus saw a dark potential for 2026, but he also saw that we survive, that we transform, that we build something better from the ashes. The astrology confirms the challenges, but it also shows the rebirth on the other side. So yes, prepare practically, but also prepare spiritually. Strengthen your connection to Source. Raise your vibration. Choose love. Help others. Hold hope, because that is how we change the timeline. That is how we navigate safely. That is how we create the better future that's possible. I'll be with you every step of the way, dear. Every month, every transit, every challenge. You're not alone in this. None of us are. I'm Susan Miller, and I'll see you in next month's update. Until then, prepare, but don't panic. Be aware, but stay hopeful. Take action, but maintain peace. We've got this, dear. We really do. Sending you so much love, light, and protection. Susan.